Hey man, good afternoon and good morning. I just want to say, man, I think Nvidia might be a bit overpriced, man, for what they're trying to offer here. I'm. This is a thing I've had about well, not PCs, but GPUs for a while now, where I always felt like, well, not always, but maybe for the past 4 years, I felt like AMD offered the better price per performance, you know, over Nvidia, because Nvidia stuff was always premium. Now, I do sometimes feel like Nvidia stuff performs better than AMD's, but AMD stuff was no slouch, and it seemed like it lasted longer than Nvidia stuff did. Like, is it possible that Nvidia made such drastic changes to each generation of their cards that the last generation just really couldn't keep up, or that the weaknesses in the previous generation of Nvidia cards just couldn't keep up, or the weaknesses showing themselves? Like, let's say the 600 to the 700 series was a pretty big leap. A lot of people say that the 500 series of the this is Nvidia's lineup I'm talking about, weren't all that great. I guess for the architecture was terrible. I guess maybe the architecture was such a big improvement, going from 500 to 600 to 700. I'm kind of skipping 800 because 800 was just for laptops and whatnot, to the 900 and now the 1000. It just seems like, yes, each GPU series is supposed to be better than the last, but what is it that seems to make AMD's GPUs seem to have such stronger staying power, in my opinion? Like, if you go to any website, well, not any website, but like websites dealing with GPUs and benchmarks and whatnot, AMD, a lot of their GPUs going back to the 79, 70, 80, 79, 90, and all of those can still do 1080p at pretty decent settings, man. Where if you go back to what was competing with the 79, 70, the 500 and the 600 series, something like that, those GPUs don't seem to perform anywhere near as well, running now. And this was like, what, 4 or 5 years ago. So it's just interesting. And so now with the announcement of the 480, AMD's 480, and it's seeming to be a pretty good card. Now, it's not out yet, but looking at how cheap it is, $200, man, and it's offering up better performance than the 970. That's crazy, because I don't think the 970 is going to be that cheap in stores when with the 1000, excuse me, 1000. When the 1000 series cars drops, man. Like, let's say when the 1070 comes out, I bet the 970 is still gonna be like 250. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, they may change that pricing structure now that the AMD dropped their card. But if AMD hadn't come out with that $200 price point, I bet the 970 wouldn't have been that price. And they're saying that the 480, if it turns out to be true, is more powerful than the 970, and it's at $200. So the 970 would need to be sub $200. You know what I'm saying, for the whole thing, the pricing structure to make sense in terms of what's offered in power. And so all of this stuff is weird to me, man. It makes me want to just wait on all of it and see what the aftermarket partners are gonna do. Or even just skip the 1080, the 1000, Nvidia's 1000 series generation altogether, and maybe even try out what AMD is offering. Not necessarily the 480, but let's see what they have in store, because I think it's gonna be good, But I might just skip the whole generation in cars in general. Excuse me, man, I'm sleeping. But it's just my thoughts, man, about this whole thing. Nvidia stuff does kind of seem overpriced in my eyes, and maybe I don't know, something to come along to change my mind about it, because I'm just thinking, like, I don't know, dog. it's just something about Nvidia is leaving a bad taste in my mouth about all these prices, man. If AMD is coming out here offering this value for the consumer like it is, then why can't Nvidia do it? Because Nvidia's lower price stuff is kind of garbage, man. Don't nobody want, like when the 960 came out and the 950 or whatever, nobody really wanted those cards. I mean, 970 sold the best for a good reason, but was it really worth that price that they were selling it at? You know what I'm saying? What was it selling for? 350? You know what I'm like 300, 350, something like that. I say 350 for aftermarkets. Well, for the partner cards. But still, was it really worth that much, man? When you can, you know, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me, you know what I'm saying? Because AMD did have cards that was priced similarly, but it seemed like the thing is that as far as the cards that were from opposing places, AMD and Nvidia competing, it seemed like AMD's cars were cheaper and they offered better performance. The only reason in some games AMD may not perform as well from what I've seen is because of that GameWorks trash that Nvidia has in the games. But I don't know, man. It's a mess. I just think there's a conspiracy in all of this to a point. But that's it. Thank you for listening, for watching, and like, subscribe, and whatnot. Thank you. Peace. Oh, and if you could, please leave something in the comments, man, because I know people got a lot to say about it, so it'd be cool to have a conversation about it. Peace.